I could not believe what I saw. I am literally crying my eyes out while typing this up. They were effing making out. On my couch. In our home. WTF do I do? Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'm going to go over a story titled, I just walked in on my husband making out with my sister. Please help. And big shout out to Joseph for sending me this story. And guys, this story is definitely would qualify as a daytime TV, daytime talk show type of scenario here. In fact, I think at some point you guys are going to be chanting, Jerry, Jerry. You get the point. This is a story about a gal. She's married to her husband. She is 29. He is 30. And one day, like it says here, she comes walking in with him making out with her sister in her house, on her couch. You know what I mean? And you can see this story that the sister of hers, husband died a couple of years earlier. She's been in mourning. And ever since then, the sister and the husband have been close. Or should I say close. He's been her sounding board, someone to listen, all that. And next thing you know, guess what's going on? And it's this whole SHIT storm of what's going on with her, the family, and it just gets crazier and crazier as these updates continue. Now, this story has multiple updates, but instead of just making 2, maybe 3 videos of it, I'm putting it all one shot, so this might run 25 minutes. I don't know. I'm just guesstimating by the amount of papers here and all that. But anyhow, guys, once again to show you how what an effed up world we're living in, and if you're not like these people, you're doing pretty well. So, starts off, she says, I'm absolutely devastated right now. I don't know what to do. I don't even know where to start. My sister Lisa lost her husband Jimmy 2 years ago in a motorcycle accident. She did not take it well and closed herself off to the world. A year ago, she reached out to us and told us she was having a hard time adjusting and said she needed help. I helped her find a good therapist, and she's been getting her life back on track. My husband Rick felt bad for her and started spending a lot of time with her. Big mistake. Sadly, this girl is naive and would never think that her sister and her husband could actually be fooling around. My husband Rick, I read that part. For the past 6 months, they spent more and more time together. At first, I was fine with it because she was finally becoming like my sister again. She started smiling, and I was so happy for her. And so was my husband. They started spending more and more time alone from me, which I did not think of much at first. It is sad that you have to think the worst, even when it comes to your loved ones, but you have to. Because human nature is human nature. And human nature trumps family, friends, whatever. Then they started spending more time together, and I got a little jealous. I told my husband I would like it if we could spend more time together ourselves, and I was feeling neglected. He said okay, but nothing changed. Where there's smoke, there's fire. No guy is going to spend that much time with another woman unless he's getting some, or he's trying to get some. Guaranteed. Today, my sister came to my house crying because she had a dream about Jimmy. My husband and I comforted her, but I was a little annoyed because the second I let her in my house, she ran into my husband's arms. What the hell? We all went to the living room and sat down. My husband asked her what happened in the dream, and she actually asked me to leave the room because she didn't feel comfortable telling me. She should never have allowed that. Come on. I was so upset at this point, I immediately left and started tearing up in the other room. I was in the other room for around 10 minutes when I heard a loud sound in the living room, so I got up and went in there. I could not believe what I saw. I am literally crying my eyes out while typing this up. They were effing making out. On my couch. In our home. WTF do I do? My entire effing world has just been shattered in front of my very eyes. I ran out of the room because I was going to vomit right there and locked myself in my room. My husband hasn't even tried to come in. I've been crying nonstop. Please help. The two people I trusted more than anything, what the hell do I do? So if this story is accurate, the husband's a scumbag, her sister's a scumbag, and I feel bad for this girl. And she went in with every good intent to try to help her sister, thinking, oh, he'll just listen to her problems because my husband's such a great guy. But her sister, in the situation, her husband's an a-hole, but who's worse? Her sister. But misery loves company. Now, with minor edits and updates, she says, well, I answered the door. Rick wouldn't even look at me. He mumbled something and went and sat on the bed. I was so angry that he wouldn't even look at me, and I almost left right there. What a pussy. Own up to it, jackass. I asked him what the hell was going on with him and my sister. I sat there for a few minutes without saying anything while I was crying my eyes out until I finally yelled at him to answer me. He whispered that, wait for it guys, he loved her. At this point I lost it. I started yelling, how could he do this to me? Do these past 10 years mean nothing to him? 10 years of marriage. Lily dropped to my knees and asked how could he betray me with my own sister and then tell me he loves her. He was quiet the entire time until I stopped yelling. He said that he'd been regretting not experimenting with other women before we got married and that he shouldn't have married the first girl he was with. Well, I agree with that one. I was stunned and asked if he even ever loved me. He said yes, but after spending time with my sister, he realizes she is the one he wants to be with. I had no words. I didn't have any clue to what to say. My whole life was falling apart in front of my eyes, and I was scared. I told him I might be pregnant, and he said that he would support me. Well, you bet your ass. I asked how, and he said he didn't know how, but he was leaving me to be with my sister. Talk about no good deed going unpunished. Now, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes here. I don't know if the sex has stopped completely, if he wasn't getting it from her, or just simply he had the fantasy of both sisters. I don't know what. Guys are guys, but regardless, not cool. If he was not in love with this girl anymore and wanted to be with her sister, the decent thing he could have done is just ended it with her. But even then, that'd be a code he shouldn't break, going with her sister. He apologized to me and told me I deserve better than him and that he will do whatever he can to help me and the baby, and if I agree to divorce him, he will give me everything. Never tell a woman that. Just once out of our marriage. In that moment, I felt like I hated him and never wanted to see him again. So I screamed to him, fine, just get the F out, you ruined my life, and I hope you're effing happy, you piece of crap. And then he had the audacity to try to hug me. I flipped out and pushed him off me. Who could blame her? This is when the sister needs to go find her other sister here and slap the shit out of her. It'd be warranted. Someone knocked on the door and he told me that he still loved me and we would figure everything out, and he left. I decided to call my parents and tell them what happened. My mom dropped a bombshell on me that my sister told her that she had feelings for my husband and that she wanted to be with him. She actually told her mom. Now she can't trust her own mother? Why she didn't tell me this, I have no effing clue, but I feel like everyone is against me. Right now, I'm sitting on the computer looking up lawyers in my area. My entire life has gone to shambles within hours, and I'm terrified. Tomorrow, I'm going to get a pregnancy test. I just hope to effing God I'm not pregnant, because I do not want to have this piece of crap's baby. God, guys, I'm so effing upset right now. I want to effing drink right now, but I won't in case I'm pregnant. Jesus, I hate my life, and I wish I had the heart to off myself right now. Well, that is never the answer, and if indeed everything happens what she described here, as heartbroken as she is and betrayed and all that, she will be able to move on. And by the way, he did say, I'll give you everything you want, so that's a dream come true to any lawyer, but something tells me he doesn't have a whole lot to begin with. Now on for the update. She says, thank you for everyone for your kind words and PMs. Your words really helped me when I was in the lowest possible spot that I've been in. A lot has happened since I woke up. First of all, I am no longer going to refer to Lisa as my sister because she's not my sister any longer. I woke up this morning and felt like a complete crap and didn't want to get up. I went and got a pregnancy test, and thank effing God I'm not pregnant. It was bittersweet because we have been trying to get pregnant for a while now, and I never thought I'd be so glad to see I wasn't pregnant. I am really upset over the way things have turned out, and now I'm having these weird feelings that I want to be pregnant after all. Make up your mind, lady. I don't know what is going on, but it's just adding to another difficult layer of crap going on right now. A little while later, I left the house to get groceries, and when I opened my mailbox, there was a letter in it from Lisa. Oh, great. After I got home, I opened it and read it. I'm not going to rewrite it because I cannot stand to even look at the letter again. Basically, it said that she apologized for how things turned out, and she explained to me that she was very vulnerable after losing her husband. Well, that's totally understandable. You're vulnerable in a very dark place, but doesn't mean that you go after your sister's husband. After spending so much time with my husband, she started to fall for him, and she thought she wouldn't ever love anyone else again, so when she realized she loved my husband, she knew she couldn't let him go. Probably because he was the only guy there. I'm sure if it was any other dude, if it was the freaking FedEx driver who stopped by the house and would listen to her, she'd fall in love with him too. No one else can fill the hole in her heart. Lisa promised they were never physical and did anything before that kiss. I caught them in it, and she went on to say that she needs me in her life and that she hopes I can forgive her. Pfft, bullshit. There are some things unforgivable, and that's one of them. I can't write any more about this right now. I might add to the rest of it later. I'm a effing mess. I don't believe for a second that kiss that she walked in on was the first time that they fooled around. Not one bit. Rick called me a little while ago. I didn't pick up the phone, so he texted me and told me that he still loves me and that we can find a way to work this out. What, is he going to be married to both of them? I don't know what the F that means since he just left me for Lisa. Now I'm really confused because now that I'm not pregnant, I want to be, and I want my marriage to not be over even though I hate him for what he has done to me. You can see the roller coaster of emotions that anybody can have, but particularly a woman. I don't want to be pregnant, but I do want to be pregnant. I don't want to be married, but I do want to be married, even though I effing hate him. But this could shock anybody, make anybody's emotions go on a roller coaster. I hate what he's done to me. And why would he text me that? Is he changing his mind? I'm so confused. I wish these past few days never happened so there wouldn't be nothing wrong. Still, I know I shouldn't forgive him if he wants another chance, but 10 years of marriage. We are going to be parents. F. I'm so confused and I can't even think straight. Now on to part 3. She says here, hello everyone. First of all, thank you for all your advice. Thank you to all the people that PM'd me. I didn't want to make an update, but I feel like you guys deserve to know what happened after all the help I received. One of the most common questions I got was about my mother. Well, I talked to my mother again, and she informed me that she has known about my sister having a thing for my husband for quite some time. Gee, thanks, Mom. She didn't want to tell me because she said she was trying to get my sister to give up the idea and she did not want me to be hurt. She got my sister to agree to let it go a few months ago and never heard anything about that, so she thought it was over. Alright, maybe the mom was trying to protect her and thought the sister obviously was effed up, so, did any more drama. I don't know. But if the mother actually thought that the sister it was over, fat chance. In the letter I got in the mail, I did not want to write it all down because it was very painful. A few days has passed and I'm ready to share some more information, but please don't ask for more because I'm simply not comfortable sharing the rest of the letter. In the letter, Lisa apologized for her behavior, but also went on to blame me and said that I flaunted my happiness in front of her with my husband. What a load of shit. What, you're not allowed to be happy with your husband because her husband died? Yeah, it's tragic and it's terrible, and I wouldn't wish that on anybody to have their spouse who they actually love and have a good thing with die. But then you're going to blame her? How dare you be happy? I'm so miserable, so everybody else around me has to be miserable. Saying about misery loves company, so I'm going to take your husband away so you can be just as miserable as me. What a bitch. She wrote she couldn't stand to see how happy we were and that how he generally loved me and she had no one. Well, she can recover and then find someone. She told me I should have reached out to her alone and that I had no business getting my husband involved. Twisting in her... See, it isn't just gaslighting towards guys, it's gaslighting towards each other. Right there. It's your fault I cheated. I don't even know what that is supposed to mean. He's my damn husband. I am not supposed to involve him in a serious matter like that. She also went on to say that my husband told her he never really loved me and that she was the one he really wanted to be and asked me not to contact him. She wants me to go through her if I want to say anything to him, and that she will bring over the divorce papers in a few weeks. I'd be like, bitch, kiss my ass. You come over here and I'm going to slap the bejesus out of you. If I'm going to talk to my husband, I'm going to talk to him because we are still married. I've had a few days to process this information, but the more I think about it, the more confusing it seems to me. Then I got more information today. Lisa is pregnant. Shocker. Way to secure the relationship with this guy. She's effing pregnant. She says it's Rick's. Rick's called me as soon as he heard my father informed me. I picked up the phone only because I wanted to hear how he could lie to my face and tell me nothing happened between them before that kiss. We all knew that was BS. He told me that he was so sorry and he didn't want it to happen that way, that my father wasn't supposed to tell me. I started crying and asked him how he could get pregnant with Lisa when we were trying for a baby. Then he said something that stunned me so much that my head is still spinning. Rick told me that he could still get me pregnant if I wanted to. What the hell is with this family? She says, WTF. I screamed to him, why the F would I still want to be pregnant with his child when he's a piece of crap? He told me he wanted to be with both me and my sister and that he thinks he is polyamorous. Oh, for God's sakes. That's the ultimate thing nowadays. Somebody wants to have the best of both worlds, to have two chicks, or in this case, or in some case, when the women, they want to have two guys, so they claim all of a sudden, oh, well, you know what? I'm poly. Therefore, I'm excused from my actions because it's a condition. I was so shocked, I started laughing. After I stopped laughing, he tried to say something else. Then I heard Lisa enter the room and asked who he was on the phone with. He said nobody and hung up. So he's pee-whipped by her. A little later, my sister texted me and told me that she would bring over the divorce papers in a week and expected me to sign them on the spot as my husband is giving me everything. She gave me a heads up that they were also getting married next month, and I'm invited to the wedding if I agreed to pretend like it was never even romantically involved with my husband. You expect her just after this to show up to their wedding? And here's the thing, this dumb motherfucker, he got married at like 20 years old to her, stupid as all hell, and now he's going to rush into yet another marriage that quickly? Now obviously she's pregnant, but this guy deserves what's going to be coming to him. And you could tell he's pee-whipped by the other sister. I'm literally at such a loss right now. Who the F is this man and where is the one I married? Why the F after all this shit do I still want to be with him even though I know I can't be? I just want the man I've been with for the past 10 years back. He's not there. That guy did this to you. You really want to be with him? I know she doesn't. I know she'd like to erase everything that happened and go on like she thought she was happy. And again, this is on the basis of what she's telling is accurate. But no, it's gone. Just the same way when these stories where the guys will say they're cheated on and they say, I just want my life back. I want the wife who I thought I was married to back. And I say, it's not going to happen. That's not who she is. It probably is never who she was. It's the same thing here, but just the situation is reversed. I hate Lisa and no longer consider her my sister. She's ruined my entire life. But what do I do about my husband? Divorce his ass. Take everything. He just texted me right now saying he still wants to be with me, loves me, and wants a baby with me. Why is he doing this to me? Why am I even considering it? F. She ought to tell this to her dad, and her dad can go whip his ass. Next update. I think this is the final one. She says, I know this update is long overdue. To be honest, the reason why I didn't update anymore was because I made a pretty poor decision that I was ashamed of and didn't want to face the reality of my situation. Here we go, guys. Here we go with the grand finale. I wish I could come here and tell you that I was strong and cut Rick and Lisa out of my life and moved on with my life. Update to tell you how much better off I am without them a year later. Sadly, that is not the case. I effed up big time. One commenter told me that I have something called a sad person brain. I remember reading it and being in denial, but now that so much time has passed, this is absolutely the truth. Sounds like she's trying to find a condition to justify what she did and you're all about to hear. I wanted to do anything to make my pain stop. So I did. I would appreciate if I didn't get reamed for the choices I made. What is done, and I need help now. Thank you in advance. If you remember my last post, Rick and I were trying to get pregnant before he left me for my sister, and wanted to even after he did because he thought he might be polyamorous. At the time, I laughed at him because of how absurd it was. But after he hung up that call, the offer got more and more tempting. I started thinking about it, becoming enraged at my sister for doing what she did to me, thinking that I could get back at her by doing it, throwing it in her face that her new boyfriend doesn't love her more than me after all. I was so angry that I heavily considered doing it. The more I thought about it, the more I wanted to out of sheer petty revenge. Don't get me wrong, I also wanted my husband and my life back. But the thought of seeing my sister's newfound happiness and smugness over me come crashing down gave me the pleasure I never ever would have imagined. This, again, daytime talk show, Jerry. My sister tried very hard to keep my contact with Rick limited. I think she was afraid he'd come back to me if she didn't. She was only able to accomplish this for a few months. Rick tried to contact me in numerous ways during this time, but it was always very brief. I was still angry and non-receptive to his advances, but he started becoming more and more aggressive, telling me how much he loved me, how much he missed me, and how much he still wanted me. I even tried blocking him on certain social media accounts, but he kept trying on all others. I know I should have just blocked him on everything, but I just couldn't. The more he tried, the harder it was for me to say no. Unfortunately, this resulted in us getting back together. I told him I wouldn't stay with him unless he left my sister. He swore to me up and down he loved me more than anything, and facing losing me made him realize and that my sister was nothing to him. Everything was amazing between us again. It was like old times and like my sister didn't even exist when he was with me. Keep in mind the sister and him are engaged to be married, and she's pregnant with his baby. Yet every night he would go back to her. Stupidly, I decided to believe him when he said he was just waiting for the right time and excuse after excuse about how bad he felt for her. Things felt so much better when he was back with me. I didn't want to lose him again. Unfortunately, I ended up getting pregnant because I did not recontinue my birth control from when we were trying for a child before any of that happened. Smack to the both of them. This is a shit show. He's engaged to the one sister. She's pregnant. Now she's pregnant again with his baby. So now he's going to have 2 children about the same time with both sisters. Oh my God. I'm sure this makes a lot of you guys feel better about your lives hearing this shit. At the time, we were both ecstatic and everything seemed like it was a dream come true. In what reality is this scenario here a dream come true? I had my husband back, we were having a child, and my life was no longer in pieces. Okay, lady. I was so happy that I turned a blind eye to everything else, obviously effed up about the situation. I didn't want to see it, I just wanted to stay happy. Well, maybe now they can go move out to some extremely remote community out in Utah. No offense to the Utah folks out there, but you know what I'm referring to. It wasn't long before Lisa found out. My entire family turned on me. My parents told me how it seems like I did this just out of retaliation and to hurt Lisa. Gee, you think? Not that she doesn't deserve it, but this a-hole. They're all a-holes. Let's all agree. She, if this is all accurate, was innocent up until this point, because now kids are being brought into this world in this really fucked up family here. My parents told me how it seems like I did this just out of retaliation and to hurt Lisa. They weren't completely wrong, but I mainly just wanted my old life back. Long story short, Lisa went absolutely berserk. She threatened to off me and sent me on a long list of never-ending harassing texts, emails, and calls. Well, there you go. Now you can contact the police because somebody's threatening to off you. And not to mention you're pregnant, that means also you and the child. I endured hell from her and my family for months until I had to get a protective order. This only resulted in my family hating me even more. Now none of them will speak to me, and Rick has been issued an ultimatum by them to cut me off or be cut off. He hasn't decided what he's going to do yet, but it seems like he's leaning towards cutting me off, and he's been communicating with me less and less these past few weeks. Okay, let's just say he cuts her off. Well, guess what? He is now on the hook for child support. To be perfectly honest, she'd be better off without this whole family in general. This guy's one dumb motherfucker. I try to minimize my profanity on my channels, but this is warranted. Not to mention there's been mounting pressure from the family for him to finalize the divorce, but it hasn't happened yet for various reasons. Jesus, they're still married. The last thing he told me was that he feels badly, but that he loves her, and passive-aggressively insinuated that I tempted him into trying to get back with me, which is complete BS because he was the only one who kept pursuing me. He said I shouldn't have gotten pregnant because now I've made his life so much harder. Newsflash, it takes 2 to tango, dude. How I let myself believe he was the man I married again is beyond me. Now all I see is how I clouded my judgment and has been an utter mess that I've gotten myself into. How I wanted to be happy again so bad, I destroyed my life by even trying to get back. Yeah, and you brought a child into this world, this effed up family. I'm 8 months pregnant and scared. I don't know how I can raise that baby alone. I really don't want to give her up for adoption. And the pain of losing my husband twice is unbearable. Even though I know it was because of my own stupidity, I still love him and can't believe everything he has done to me. Losing my entire family over this has also been a huge kick when I'm at rock bottom. Most of our mutual friends have distanced themselves from us because no one wants to take sides, but it's obvious they're all quite disgusted with the way things have turned out. Gee, you think? I have no one left now. Please help me, Reddit. How the hell can I fix this mess I've made my life into? How can she fix it? Well, she doesn't have a whole lot of options. She can have the child. Obviously, she's 8 months pregnant, and he is going to be on the hook for child support. And her whole family is freaking trash. Again, this is on the basis that she has been a perfect angel up until this point, and what she's describing is accurate. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt here in this tale. And she raises that child as best she can on her own. Hopefully she has some friends that will help out. I don't know. And she gets child support from him. And she has nothing to do with the family anymore because they're all freaking garbage. Again, on the basis of what she's saying is accurate. Or two, if she absolutely cannot take care of this child, adoption. There are families out there that can't have children, would love to have a child, and I would be hopeful that this would be a state where states have different laws about adoption. I know about this because I've had friends have adopted in different states. And some states will, once the adoption is done, that's it. The family that had the child no longer can have any contact. It's done. Other states that want you to actually have communication with the family, and you got to send the family, the birth parents, pictures and all that bullshit and everything like that. Hopefully, if she would do this, she's in a state that allows them to adopt the child, and that's that, because that child shouldn't have anything to do with this wacko family. So, who knows? But the idea that she's going to get back with this jackass of a husband of hers and everything's going to be all right and everything, you're out of your mind. But anyhow, guys, this is an example how effed up world we're living in. Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0, Mr. Polyamorous here. He's nailing her and the sister. And no good deed goes unpunished. And she is trying to help the sister. Very naive, but she was trying to help the sister by letting him be with her and all that. And look what happens here. And like I said, there was no way they weren't hooking up before her when she found him that one time. But this is a big mess. And that guy who is the husband of hers, he is in for a world of hurt. And you know what? Again, if this story is true, he deserves it. He's a moron. He deserves it. So, all right, guys, that's it for today. I told you this was a crazy one. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And, guys, you come across a good story like this here, something crazy, something outrageous, or just something very entertaining, by all means, email it to me, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just give me some time to get to it, and I will. Lately, let me rephrase that. More than ever, I have been just bombarded with content, with you dudes sending me emails with links to Reddit stories and all that, to the point that I literally can't keep up, but that's okay. Just keep sending them in, because that'll allow me to be more selective to provide the best stuff here. Because lately, for both channels, the views have just been staggering, because I'm able to choose the absolute best stuff to give you guys the best entertainment for your time, because we only have so much time in a day, so I know you guys want really the best stuff, and that's what I want to do as often as I can. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.